Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we're talking 90 Day the Single Life Season 5 Episode 10, the act of, what's it called? Cobwebbing, the act of cobwebbing. So we're just going to get on into it and get on out of here. It wasn't a thrilling episode like previous episodes, but we still got some stuff to talk about. The first person I want to talk about is, we're going to start with Kim. So Kim, the last time we saw Kim, she wants to try to reach out and try to find her daughter. Remember, she talked to Jamal and her adopted son Larry about trying to find a daughter and stuff and everything. Well, while they're on the hunt for that, now we're back to Kim's single life. It's been a whirlwind of emotions here. Like 1 week it's with Kim. 1 week it's the adoption and everything. The next week she's with somebody else. Like, remember that guy she was with in the beginning of the season that she went to his room and stuff and everything and all that. So now we have a new guy. We have a new guy from the UK, and his name is Wayne, that she met on social media and stuff and everything. They've been texting and talking for a while now, and now they're gonna finally have their very first video chat. They have their first video chat and everything. She asked them, like, what is your biggest accomplishments? And, and he asked her that, and she said, like, Jamal and stuff. And him, I think it was just him, just trying to be successful and everything. This Wayne guy, he, I guess, is divorced and has a few kids and stuff and everything. And, I think Kim is gonna go out to the UK and visit him. Now, one thing Kim is really hyped up on, and this just really irks my soul and makes me, and this is one thing I'm insecure about. She asked him how tall he is. Kim is 5'9". This dude is 5'6". And I mean, it's kind of, she says kind of doable, but it's just like, oh man, and everything. So I mean, she said that he has like green flags with everything else, but that's a middle flag or whatever. So after they were done with the conversation, she goes on and asks the producer, like, how tall are you? And see if she can do it. And, like, see if she has to squat or he need to wear heels or something like that. And the producer just let her kiss her on the cheek or whatever and everything and hold the camera and stuff and everything. I understand Kim is tall and I get it, but I just really don't understand what the big freaking deal is about height. Like people who are short. It doesn't matter male or female. People who are short, they can't control that. If it was some kind of attraction thing where they could control, then we could work with that. But when it comes to height, why is it us short people are looked down on in terms of relationships? Like I don't get it. It's something we cannot control. And we don't deserve to be single forever because we're short. And someone says, well, find someone shorter than you. Okay, that's easier said than done and everything, because I'm not looking for someone who's shorter than me. I'm looking for somebody who is genuine, who's nice and caring, and who's going to be a good partner to me. I'm not looking at height, okay? People are attractive whether they're tall or short, but if we're just looking at height, we're missing out on a lot of things. I'm short doesn't make me any less of a man. My girlfriend's short. It doesn't make her any less of a woman and stuff. So I just don't understand this height attraction thing. I really don't. But I'm sorry, guys. Rant over. But yeah, that was just basically Kimberly. I'm sorry to get on that rant, but like, we need to stop like judging people and punishing people because of their height and stuff and everything, because that's not fair and that's not something they can control. Now, if you want to make yourself attractive, like better built with your body and facial stuff and everything, okay, that's one thing. But when it comes to height, there's nothing we can do, and we're not getting surgery, not paying for surgery to make yourself taller. Just saying. Anyway, that was Kim. Next couple I want to talk Sophie and Pedro. So Sophie and Pedro decided to finally have another conversation after the whole birthday party incident with Pedro's sister Nicole and everything. Sophie said that she needed space and everything. Um, they come over and hang out for coffee and everything. And they only, Pedro says he only has a couple days left and everything. Like wants to really make the best of it with Sophie and stuff and everything. He asked Sophie, "Do you want to hang out tonight?" Like now, prior to that, now they showed this on Between the Sheets. One thing about Pedro, ever since he's been talking to Sophie, is that he always buys her things. He always buys her jewelry and everything. I guess he got her some kind of another piece of jewelry or whatever. And on Between the Sheets, it was revealed that I guess Rob, when Sophie was with Rob, bought her only a $20 ring. But Rob said on Between the Sheets instead it wasn't $20, it was $200. He got $200 for her engagement ring, and then months later got the other $200 for her, and then they got wedding bands or whatever. And then I guess like there was one ring that was passed down from his grandma or and whatever that he claims that Sophie had lost, but Sophie says that she didn't, it didn't come from his grandma, it came from her grandma or something like that. It's just typical Rob and Sophie back and forthness and stuff and everything. But one thing about Pedro that he really, I mean, people are looking at it as he wants to buy, and he's buying her love, and you can't buy love. Like he's just being nice. I mean, I see no problem with that. So, but he asked Sophie if she wanted to hang out tonight, and she's like, "Well, I'm kind of been talking to another Dominican guy, and I'm gonna be hanging out with him." So he's like, "Okay, so you're going on a date?" She's like, "Not a date. We're just saying now that's a date and everything." And and obviously Pedro was upset about that. He's like, I invited you down here. It was a chance for you and I to connect more and everything. And you're going out with another guy. You got to understand why I'm upset, basically. And she's like, "Well, I told you plenty of times that you're not my boyfriend. You're not my boyfriend, so I'm single. I'm here on the holiday and everything." And I get that, and get that she is, but like, I still find it some kind of like disrespect to be in his country and to do that. I know you guys they have their ups and downs, but I still think it's kind of for her to do that. So he was just like, "Okay, you know what? Go on your date, have fun, whatever. It's whatever." And stuff and everything. And she's getting mad that he's getting mad because they're not together and stuff and everything. Pedro, it's not about him trying too hard. I just think but he needs to start getting the hint that Sophie is just not the person for him. He's done everything he can for Sophie, buying her things, invited her to the country, and she's done nothing but disrespect him the entire time and stuff and everything. Pedro has just been like really genuine and upfront on how he feels and everything, and she just doesn't like that. She just does not like that, and I don't understand. And yeah, we've been saying it all season. Sophie just needs to grow up, and she just won't grow up. I don't trust anything that comes out of Sophie's mouth. I really don't. So yeah, but that was basically it for that conversation. Next person I want to talk is Liz. Now, Liz pissed me off last week because she revealed last week that she's talking to really has a person back home named Alec. And she told Via that last week. And so this episode, they continued the conversation about that and everything, and then talked about how what are we going to do? Vea just feels like he's wasting his time and everything. And Liz just feels like, I really don't know what I'm doing at home and stuff and everything. And I just wanted to come here to escape everything I'm going through from the cancer and my relationships and stuff and everything. I just want to have fun and everything. So she asked him, do you still want to hang out? And at first he was just like, I don't know. But then after some talking, he was like, do you want to just, Liz invited him back to her room and stuff and everything. And they sat outside for a little bit and chatted. And then they went back to her room and just started kissing. He starts taking his clothes off and stuff and everything. And people would think they were intimate, but on Between the Sheets, what happened is that they tried to be, but nothing fully came. They didn't fully finish or whatever, because apparently It started out going well. Like Pedro asked Liz on Between the Sheets, was he a good kisser? And she said, yeah, 10 out of 10 and everything. Touching, 8 out of 10. But, intimacy and stuff and everything, she said they didn't finish because she got sick. She started puking. She started going to the bathroom and stuff and everything, and she kicked them out because she did not want to see. She didn't want Vea to see what she was going through and everything. And she said the chemo, like the sickness from the chemo and the side effects, has really gotten to her and stuff. And that is true. I do believe that because I had a family member who went through that and stuff and everything. So again, we're praying for Liz in terms of the cancer thing. Again, she deactivated her social media for the time being. I don't know what's going on, maybe, but we're still praying for that. But in terms of her love life, Liz, come on, come on. So yeah, that was Liz. Next couple I want to talk is Vanya and Tony. Oh my goodness. They are something else. So this episode, we're getting ready for Vanya's 4th of July / birthday party because Vanya was born on the 4th of July. She's a fireworks baby. And so, she's in Maine with her cousin's son-in-law and stuff and everything. She basically told her cousin son-in-law to don't quit talking to him that way, like give him a chance and everything, quit being aggressive with them and stuff and everything. And she was just like, well, you're gonna keep coming back to me crying when things don't work out. And she was just like, just drop it, don't say anything, let's just enjoy the party and stuff and everything. So they had this 4th of July party, and Tony comes and everything. They meet everybody and everything. Vanya and Tony had a little private moment. They talked about, they're still talking about Vanya's celibacy and everything. They had a conversation about that. And, as Vanya says, it's really important for her to still stay celibate and stuff. She does this all the time. Like, she wants to be celibate, and then she'll do it, and then she wants to be celibate again. She goes back and forth with her celibacy all the time and stuff. So, but Tony said that he's really going to respect her decision about staying celibate and stuff. So now they're going to a dance class, to do some Latin dance class or whatever. And Vanya is a dancer. She's a ballet dancer, and everybody who knows her knows that and stuff. So they take some dance lessons at this like Latin club or whatever and everything. Dance instructor teaching them a few things, and Tony's not really all that into it. He's just like, I don't know what to do and stuff, but he wants to stay partnered up with Vanya. And Vanya says that, when you're doing like bachata and all these Latin dances, it's common for you to switch out partners and stuff and everything. And so, Vanya and Tony started out together for a while. And then they wanted to do another kind of dance, and Tony really wasn't into it and stuff and everything, and didn't really want to do it. And so Vanya was getting really upset. So she was like, you know what? If you're not going to dance with me, I'm going to ask somebody else to dance. And that's exactly what she did. She went up to some other random guy and to dance and stuff. And they danced for a little bit. And Tony comes up and cuts in. It's like, hey, this is my girl now. Can I dance and stuff and everything? And dude was like, okay, no problem, dude. And so Tony gets in, and then they have a fight about it. She's like what the heck? Like, you just said that you didn't want to dance, and now you see me dancing and stuff and everything. Like, what are you doing and stuff and everything? Like, you're being controlling. Like, you're being jealous for no reason and stuff and everything. But on this one, I have to take Tony's side because I think that was out of revenge. Vanya has been really she's been really hard on him ever since they got to Maine and everything. Like, she's not really letting him she just keeps insulting him and saying all kind of mean things, everything that he's doing and not doing. Everything that he's doing or not doing is irritating her, and he just can't catch a break. And just because he didn't want to dance and he was ready to dip out, she goes and dances with another guy in front of him and stuff and everything, and gets mad that he cuts back in and stuff and everything. So that one I agree with Tony on, because Like and that's another thing I hate when people do. I hate when people, like, when they're mad, do some like really evil revenge and antics like that. I don't understand. Just because you're mad at somebody doesn't mean you're already hurt as it is. You don't want to make them hurt worse, because that's going to do is just make the situation worse. And so I just don't understand. I don't understand the revenge aspect of it. Like, okay, you hurt me, so I'm going to hurt you more. Like that, it doesn't work like that. And that's mean. That's really mean. So yeah, that was Vanya and Tony. Last couple I want to talk, and I gotta talk about this, is Gina and Natalie. So now Gina and Natalie are going on another trip. They're going out to LA now. They went from DC to Michigan and now out to LA. And we're going to LA because we're supposed to be meeting Natalie's daughter Bella and stuff and everything. And Natalie and Gino apparently at this point are exclusive. And last week it was confirmed. Natalie did confirm from last episode that they were intimate, and she said it was okay. She said that he just needs to at least the beast more, and I'll talk more about that later. So Gino gets set into his hotel, and he gets a text from Natalie saying that they're here. And he goes downstairs, and Lord behold, Natalie's daughter is with her. She's like, "Oh, hey, who's this?" And Natalie introduces, "This is my daughter Bella." And Gino says, "Nice to meet you." And this Bella chick, she gave him attitude. She was just like, "Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm surprised that you're here and stuff." Because was like, "Yeah, I was expecting meeting you today. I was expecting meeting you tomorrow and stuff." And she's like, "Yeah, well, plans change and everything and all that. And I'm surprised you're here." He was like, "Okay." And then Bella was just like, "Yeah, well, I'm about to graduate cosmetology school up here and stuff, and I miss my mom. I'm homesick." But she was gonna come here with this Gina and just kind of mess up all the plans and everything. But whatever. I was like, "Dang, okay, we're sorry, girl, dang." And so, Gino offers, "Can I get your bags for you?" She's like, "Yeah." Like, get this bag. He's getting her luggage and everything. And she asked him, "Do you mind closing the trunk door? Can you close the trunk door?" He's got his hands full. He's like, "I can." And she's like, "You better." He's like, "Okay, ooh, shoot, back up." Back up. So he closes the door, and Gina's just like, "What in the world? I just met this Bella, and she's got like an attitude with me." And yeah, she does have an attitude. Like, okay, like, who do you think you are? Okay. Now, Bella says, like, "I'm still mad. I'm really mad about what happened to my mom in Michigan. Gina didn't defend my mom and stuff and everything." Okay, okay, I get that. But you got to know the full story. And, well, maybe she does know the full story just based on what the mom told her. Or does she just have surface level information? Because Gino obviously during that time was caught between a rock and a hard place during that time and everything. And so yeah, I don't agree with what happened and everything, but your mom did choose to forgive him, and your mom did realize, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have been there at that time, and maybe I just like it was just the timing just wasn't right and everything. But you got to understand what he was going through in his mind during that time and everything. So she doesn't like him just based on that. But I know everybody knows that Gino is weird. Everyone knows Gino is weird and stuff, but he really does have a good heart and stuff and everything. And he just wants to be loved. So after the daughter leaves and stuff and everything, Natalie and Gino hang out for a little bit, and they have some plans. And like, they said, "We'll do family time and everything tomorrow, but now I just want to have fun," Natalie says. So Natalie planned a trip to, I'm surprised, but I do know this was production based too. But still, I don't even though things are production based, how do you even agree to it? Natalie plans to take him to a strip club and everything. And Gino's really happy about the strip club and stuff and everything. He's so happy. So they go to a strip club, and on Between the Sheets. Now when they get to the strip club, Natalie's trying to teach how to do this to the with the money and stuff and everything. But on Between the Sheets, Natalie revealed that Gino was supposed to have the money, but I guess he had some issues at the ATM. So Natalie had to get all the money out for the dancers and everything, which kind of threw her off a little bit and stuff. And so so they're at the club, and they're getting lap dances from the stripper and stuff and everything. Gina's just like in heaven. He's like, yeah, he does this, yeah, baby, yeah, make it rain, doing his little weird comments and stuff and everything. And stuff, and then they actually had a private dance and stuff, and the dancer actually was dancing with Natalie Moore and everything. And on Between the Sheets, Natalie said that Gino was actually a little bit jealous of that, because the attention was starting to go towards Natalie more than him and stuff and everything. He didn't like that. I'm like, Gino, well, one, this is my money and stuff and everything. And of course, I'm a woman. I'm a beautiful woman. They're going to come to me as well and everything. He's like, yeah, but still, yeah, come on, Gino. But he's like, oh, well, at least she's doing this with me, because Jasmine would have never did it. Jasmine would have chased me out. Jasmine would have did a lot of things to me if I would even looked at another woman and going to a strip club. Yeah, we know that. And stuff. So yeah, after all of that, Gino and Natalie, they were just like, they went back and they were just like, this was a really good time, and we should do this more often. And she was just like, yeah, we'll do it once or twice a year on our birthdays, my birthday, your birthday, and stuff. So I mean, it's cute. I mean, I like seeing, the thing is, I like seeing Gina and Natalie happy, like, because Gina is traumatized from Jasmine. She is always like telling him what to do, like where to look, and pay for this, do this, bring my kids here, do this, all that, and all that patty whack and everything. And it was draining for him. It was draining, like talking about it and stuff and everything. So, like, I like seeing Gina and Natalie together. Now, I know, like, we'll find out more later on how like Natalie's attracted to Gina and stuff and everything, but I don't think that they're together now, right now. I don't. I think they probably still talk, but I don't think they're together, because I do think Natalie also is looking for, even though she's attracted to Gino, I do think she's looking for reasons to get out of the relationship. Like, she put herself in there. I mean, and she's not a paid actress, and she has made it clear on social media that she's not a paid actress and stuff and everything. But I do feel like, and I understand her reservations about Gino and his weirdness and his awkwardness, but I still feel like that she's looking for a reason to end a relationship. And we'll find out more as the season goes on and stuff. So yeah, so that was basically it. Now, Between the Sheets, they did talk. We didn't see Courtney and Cole in this episode, but on Between the Sheets, we did see a scene that wasn't shown of Courtney. So they showed Courtney going to the gym just to work out on her own, and she gave us an update on what's going on with her and Colt. Well, remember, Mother Debbie had came to pick up Colt to take him to Canada after Courtney had kicked him out and everything. And so Courtney said that she was going to help Colt pack up and get him out of the hotel and whatever. But I mean, he was already gone. Now, Colt had said that he was going to Canada to be with his mom and stuff and everything. And he was texting Courtney saying that he misses her. Canada's so cold. My mother's cooking sucks and everything. This, and that and everything. And he was even sending her like inappropriate pictures. He's still doing that inappropriate pictures thing and everything. He was sending all that to Courtney, saying that he loves her, he misses her, wants her back and all that. Next thing you know, she somehow sees on social media that He lied. Colt actually, after he left Courtney's, traveled to Brazil to be with Diana. And he lied to Courtney about it. And he's still sending Courtney like inappropriate messages. What in the world? What in the actual world are we doing? It just keeps getting worse with this guy. It just keeps getting worse. Like, how are you? I mean, okay, Colt says, well, we're broken up, so I don't see what the big deal is. If you're broken up, leave Courtney alone. Don't be, and you're still playing Diane. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you, like, what is wrong with you, Colt? He needs like some hardcore deep throne therapy, because this is just not normal. This is not even normal for someone who is a serial cheater and player and stuff. Like, even those guys are just will draw the line at some point and stuff. But he just makes it worse. Oh my God. And I think him and Diane are still together. I'd seen on social media that somebody asked Diane on her Instagram, like, are you and Colt still together? And she said, yeah, why? Wow. Wow. So everybody's just like, Courtney, just leave him alone. Leave him alone. So yeah, typical Colt. Anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. So yeah, I think, yeah, we basically seen everybody on the season on tonight's episode. We've seen Sophie, we've seen Pedro, we've seen Liz. I mean, Julia wasn't there, but we don't need Julia. Julia's not really part of it, just a wingman. I mean, we didn't see Colt, but we've seen Courtney, and we've seen Vanya, we've seen Kim. So yeah, that was basically it. All right, guys, that is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Check that if you are still subscribed, because YouTube is playing the Purge games again. Yeah, I'll be back on next week to do B90, the regular season finale for that. And until then, y'all stay safe and have a great week. Love you guys. Bye.